Hey, how's it going? This is going to be a very quick video on Range Rover P38 electronic air suspension ride height sensors. So if you're watching this video, you probably already know what these are, so I'm not going to really stress it. I guess really briefly, the Range Rover P38 has 4 of these ride height sensors. There are the rear ride height sensors, and then there are the front ride height sensors. So this is one of each right here. These sensors, their job is to provide the air suspension computer a feedback for each axle to tell the computer how high the car is on each wheel. And that allows the air suspension system to adjust the car's height depending on, the weight of the car and the conditions and how high you've set the car to ride at. So what I have here are 2 different sensors. And what I'm going to be talking about today is the difference between Chinese and original OEM sensors. So I have in my hand here a Chinese clone. You'll notice that there is absolutely no markings on this other than kind of a generic model number. There's not even a made in China tag, which is peculiar. So that's an unmarked Chinese one, very cheap. I think it cost me $60 for a pack of 4 of these. And this is an original. So this is an actual genuine OEM Land Rover ride height sensor. And one way you can immediately tell is if you actually look on the case, it will say made in UK. So sorry for the lighting there, but if you can see, it's stamped that it's made in England. And that's how we know that this is genuine. I have not yet seen a Chinese clone put that made in UK stamp on it. So that's how I know. I also know because this one cost $100 alone, which is as much as 4 of these cost on eBay. So that's a good indicator. Mechanically, they're pretty much identical in terms of build and quality. I would say that the Chinese one has kind of crappier linkages here, and the rotator joint feels a little bit more chintzy, lower quality. That's definitely some cheap pot metal here, or magnesium or something that's very cheap. This is, of course, a higher build quality, but nothing too crazy different. So you might think, oh, well, why don't I just get the Chinese ones? They're 5 times cheaper compared to the original one. But I'm going to tell you why. And it's not anything to do mechanically or structurally here. It actually has to do with the quality of the sensor itself. And what I'm about to show you is that the Chinese sensor, this one here, has, and all of them have such a bad actual sensor component that it's not usable. It's not even usable on the car. This is a waste. This is a piece of garbage right here. This is an expensive paperweight, as opposed to the original one, which will work fine. As I said, you probably already know how these work, but a brief overview. These don't actually measure height directly, each of these sensors. They actually just measure resistance. Particularly, they measure voltage. So there's 3 pins. One of them is voltage, one of them is a neutral, and one of them is a ground. And the electronic air suspension computer supplies a voltage to this thing, and depending on where the arm is in its range of motion, the resistance is varied. It will change gradually. And consistently, that's the important word, is it'll change consistently, along the range of motion, and that voltage will change. So the car's computer puts in a voltage, and the voltage it gets out corresponds to where that arm is along its range of motion. In other words, this isn't measuring height. It's really just measuring, it's just a big resistor. It's a MOSFET, in other words. So what could the issue be? Remember I said consistency is the problem. And I'm about to demonstrate to you how consistency is, kind of the main figure of merit in these, and why the Chinese sensor is not usable. So I'm going to get set up with a multimeter here, and I will show you exactly what the problem is. Okay, So here's the genuine ride height sensor. I have it hooked up to the multimeter here. We can actually set the range to be a little bit less precise. So we're in the kilo ohms range. So this is 1,000 ohms. As I mentioned, as we move this sensor, the arm, along its range of motion, we expect this resistance to change. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to go ahead and move the arm here, and you'll notice that as we approach the minimum position, the resistance is steadily decreasing, and it's consistently decreasing. And there's that word consistent again. So let's bring it all the way through its full range here. 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. Should go to about 2.3 or 4, if I recall. And as you just saw, it is perfectly consistent. So there were no hiccups, there were no jumps in resistance. It was a perfect, gradual, linear increase from the 1 to the 2.4 as we moved across the range. And the same goes for the reverse direction. Perfectly consistent, going down from 2.4-ish down to 1. And that's exactly what we would expect for a sensor. So if I connect this to my car, the computer will understand that with no trouble. Now we're going to hook up the Chinese sensor, and I'm going to show you how different these are. Okay, so I've got the Chinese sensor hooked up here. I have it all the way at its highest or its lowest range of motion. You can see the resistance. We're starting out at, roughly 1.1, 1.2 kilo ohms. Now pay attention to the resistance value as we move through the range of this Chinese sensor. And I want you to tell me if you think it's consistent compared to the other one. So here we go. I'll start gradually moving it here. We'll go back the other direction. Two 1.9, 3.14, also known as pi, 2.3, 1.7. Are you noticing what I'm noticing? There is no consistency in these numbers at all, or very, very little. This is a piece of junk, this sensor. This is absolute garbage. There's periods where it jumps to 3, there's periods where it's non-linear, there's small periods where it doesn't change at all, or where it goes backwards. This is a piece of garbage, this sensor. You want to avoid using these in your car at all cost. Again, 4 of these sensors cost me $60, the Chinese ones, and just one of the OEM real, genuine sensors cost me $100. So you want to avoid these. If you were to plug these into your vehicle, your P38, you'd be having all sorts of suspension problems. You'd be having ride height issues. You'd be having deflating overnight. You'd be having EAS faults. This is garbage. This video is also serving as a warranty claim or a defective item claim from where I bought these. And hopefully that demonstrates why. So let's wrap this up here. We've got the Chinese clone, we've got the real OEM sensor. Why did I buy this? Well, the real sensor that I purchased, so this is, I believe this is the rear ride height sensor. This is a front ride height sensor. This is a real one, a real front, a Chinese front. The real one that I bought didn't come with the arm. So all I need this sensor for is this, the metal bracket and arm and everything. So these are genuine here. These are going to go on my car. I just need to kind of sacrifice this arm assembly, which I'm kind of even hesitant to do because seeing how bad this Chinese sensor is, I don't even want anything to do with the arm itself. But I really don't have any choice because there's nowhere else to get them. Anywho. I hope the lesson is clear. You have to avoid these sensors. You'll hear people talk about them in the Facebook groups. Don't buy the Chinese ones. They are absolutely positively right. These will cause you nothing but hell and anguish with your car. You'll be getting EAS faults. You don't want this. So hopefully, you guys will be able to watch me as I install the good ones on my car. I'm going to be restoring my car back to its original electronic air suspension system after the previous owner had it swapped to coil springs. And I will definitely be putting the genuine sensors in my car. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. But in the meantime, good luck, and I'll be seeing you with the next video.